Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal, and this is the latest transfer news. Let's get into it straight away. James Bench had this to report yesterday. Sources close to Arsenal expect a summer where the profile of new recruits is more akin to Jorginho and Trossard, two more experienced additions who arrived at a later stage of their career than sporting director Edu typically looks to recruit. Now, in terms of the plan for us to recruit this summer transfer window, and no one knows how many players we're going to get. No one knows how many players the team wants to get. No one knows the identity of the players we want to get. No one really knows which positions we want to get. There's been a lot of talk, of Arsenal want to get 3-4 goalkeepers. Arsenal want a left back. There's been a lot of talk of Arsenal want, a backup for Saka. Arsenal want, players like Nico Williams, players who are going to come and start. We've been linked to strikers, to even number 8 players like Eze and players like that. So no one really knows the identity of the players that we want. But one thing that a lot of journalists have reported is the kind of player that you're looking for. We were told earlier at the transfer window that we are looking for a younger kind of striker. That never happened, and Sesko remained at Leipzig. Saxi has gone to Man United. I don't think there's too many others that are remaining. But in terms of the rest of the squad, they're talking about us signing players at the age of, like Jorginho and Trossard. Now, I don't mind that at all. You have to have a balance in the team. You don't want too many young players like Chelsea have had the last couple of seasons, and you don't want too many older players in terms of players like teams like Crystal Palace a couple of seasons ago. You need to strike a balance. We have a lot of young players in our team. You can consider even players like Declan Rice on the younger side. They're nowhere near 30. They're on the younger side. Like, they still have a lot of years to go before they get to 30. So there's a long way to go. But you have to strike a balance in the team. So the players that to be linked to, a lot of them have been younger, but there's been a couple of experienced players that to be linked to. Now, Trossard came to us, who had a major impact the last 2 seasons or 1.5 seasons, and Jorginho same. The 1.5 seasons he's been here, there's been absolutely incredible. So you don't have to get players who are 22 or 19 or 21. You can definitely get players who are 27, 28. I've seen a lot of you in the comments when you're talking about a player who's 27, 28. This player is particularly too old. We've talked about Osimhen, people are like, it's too old. We've talked about Merino, people are like, it's too old. No, 27, 28, that is not too old. That is experience. That is in the prime of your career, and that is striking a balance to your team and bringing in experience, bringing in the know-how. And one player who can definitely do that for us is Mikel Merino, who's been linked to us. So this is the latest report from James Bench as well. CBS Sports sources have confirmed that Arsenal admirers of the Real Sociedad midfielder Mikel Merino, his involvement in Spain's win at Euro 2024 means that has not crystallized into definitive contact between the two clubs yet. And then this one as well from Sam Dean. Arsenal are plotting a move for Real Sociedad Mikel Merino. Arsenal's interest in the player predates the start of Euro 2024. It has been claimed in Spain that Sociedad would want around 20 million for Merino. Now, this is one player that definitely fits the kind of thing James Bench has told us in terms of 28, 27, 28-year-old, around the age of Trossard and Jorginho. Mikel Merino fits into that. I have no problem with signing a player close to 30. We're not going to sign, it's not like you're signing a 34-year-old. Mikel Merino will come to us and have a huge impact. Now, do I like Merino as a signing at Arsenal? Not as a replacement for Partey, but as an addition to our team, yes. If Partey was to leave and Merino was coming in, I would not be satisfied with that. Yes, he's a good player. He can help us suffocate the rest of the teams, dominate midfield, win those deals, physicality and pressure, all that in midfield. Like players like Declan Rice would absolutely enjoy playing with him, but not as a replacement for Partey. If you have the option of playing Partey, you have the option of playing Jorginho, you have the option of playing Merino, and you have the option of playing Rice. Those are a lot of different options. Absolutely great. The first signing I wanted was a midfielder. That is my priority. You still haven't signed one. Because I'm like, what if Partey gets injured again? I don't want Jorginho and Rice to play every single game. I want us to rotate, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Jorginho is heading to the end of his career. Can he play for you 50 games out of 50 if Partey is injured for 6-7 months in the season? You're not really sure about that. But a player like Merino, I would 100% take him at Arsenal. He would be a great signing. But just like the rest of the players we've been linked to and the players that we've had at the Euros, someone like Merino will not become available until after August. Like, not after August, but after August has started, because now he's going on his holidays. So he's not going to come to Arsenal and play immediately right now. So I don't know how long this deal is going to take. But I don't mind Merino as a signing, especially for 20 million. I think they've seen it as an opportunity. They've said that we've been looking at him for a long time. They're seeing it as an opportunity for 20 million. A player who can play number 6 and number 8, and a player who won the most duels in the top 5 European leagues last season, and he's just won the Euros. He's got a crucial goal against Germany to put them in the semi-final. He's a very, very good player. Yes, but I wouldn't have him as a replacement. If you know he's coming to be a backup for Rice in that position, or he's coming to start some games, however you're going to mix it, he starts with Rice or he starts with Partey, however you're going to mix it, depending on the game. I think Merino would be a good player to have for only 20 million. I think that would be great. Now, we were linked to Zubimendi before, but that didn't work out. Maybe at the time they do like, yeah, let's get Zubimendi first, and then they had is not coming in, and they were like, actually, we've also looked at Merino. Is it possible to get Merino? And then we told, yeah, maybe it could happen. But again, with this one, we have to be even more patient because he's now just going to start his holiday. It's going to take a little bit of time to get this one done as well. According to this as well, Arsenal wants a central midfield, and one player of interest is Sociedad's Mikel Merino. Mikel is an admirer of his talent and physicality. Merino turned 28 in June, which would place him outside of Arsenal's typical recruitment profile. The relative youth of the squad, however, means they can add more experienced players when required, as they did with Jorginho and Leandro Trossard. This is according to the Ghana blog. So absolutely no problem with this. Mikel Merino, I would welcome him to Arsenal. Would I still want another midfield on top of that? If Partey is leaving, yes, I still want another midfield. I don't think it's like Partey goes and Merino comes in. I don't think that is enough. I see Merino as more of a number 8, and I prefer Rice as a number 8. So we'd only be left with Jorginho as someone who's just happy to play number 6 and no other position. You know, Jorginho doesn't play any other position, just the number 6. Like, he's perfected the number 6 position, doesn't want to play any other position. A player like Rice, you'd want to go forward and assist and score, and Merino probably want to do the same, maybe to make those tackles in aerial duels on the wings, on the right, left side. I just want someone who's happy to be in the number 6 position the whole game. So let's see how the Merino deal develops this week. Hopefully this week we'll hear something about him. As I said, he's currently on holiday, so we have to be a little bit patient, but let's hope we hear something on him. The midfielders that we've been linked to have now moved on. Onana's gone to Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz has gone to Juventus. Doesn't seem you're going to get players like Joan Neves, very, very expensive. So Merino is one that we've definitely looked at. Let's see how this one develops. I would be happy with the signing for 20 million. I think that is that's a great deal. Now, would he want to join Arsenal though? I'm hearing the likes of Barcelona also want him, so that's another problem. Those players over there, Bilbao, Betis, Sevilla, when they leave those teams, they prefer going to an Atletico Madrid, a Barcelona, Real Madrid, going to a top team in their country. Most of them have dreams of playing for those teams, so it's very difficult to convince a player to move from there to come to your team. But the thing with Merino, he has played for Newcastle before. He's been in the Premier League before, so it's not a first-time transfer, a first-time idea like, oh my goodness, I'm moving to England. No, he's actually been at Newcastle before. So let's see how that one develops this week. Now, one midfielder we could be losing, looking very likely now, is Emile Smith Rowe. There's been a lot of news about him since yesterday. I haven't gotten a chance to talk about him yet, but this was the news from yesterday. Arsenal rejected a bid of around 30 million plus bonuses from Fulham, £30 million for Emile Smith Rowe. After seeing their first offer knocked back by the Gunners, Fulham are now considering making an improved proposal. Now, I'm actually, first off, I'm very surprised. I didn't think like the likes of Fulham and Wolves and Crystal Palace, these teams will come with offers for more than 30 million, whether it's for Nelson or for Nketiah or for Smith Rowe. One thing I've been saying is I'm worried about the teams that want these players. It's not a Real Madrid, it's not a Bayern Munich, it's not a Juventus, it's not a Benfica or Barcelona. Want Smith Rowe and they would be able to pay that kind of money. No, it's the smaller teams that is it really a priority for them to get players in those positions? Well, Fulham has very surprised us with that bid of £30 million. Now, we have worked with Fulham recently, the likes of Leno. We've been linked to a player like Robinson. Could it still happen? I don't think so, but you've been linked to a player like that. Now, for Emile Smith, 30 million. Would you guys have said yes to 30 million, or do you think that is too low? Now, I'm actually very happy rejected it. For Smith Rowe and Ramsdale, for me, we don't really have to sell them. If they stay, absolutely fine. There's a couple of other players we know we need to sell. So you might be forced to, accept a bid, even though it's a bit lower, depending on the timing and how quickly we need to sell them. But a player like Smith Rowe can just hold on and say, listen, we're not desperate to sell him until someone comes in with 40 million or something. And that is what Arsenal are looking for. 40, close to 40 million, because other teams are able to get 35, 40 million for their youngsters who never play. Smith is a very good player. Without the injuries, he's a very good player, very, very good player. We've seen him performing in the league for a whole season, being a regular in the Arsenal team. Him and Saka basically saved Arsenal at some point. And Smith in the team, he's very good. Like, without injury, Smith can do a lot for you. He can create chances, he can score goals, he can play as a number 10, a number 8 on the wing. And for a team like Fulham, I can see Smith doing absolutely well. Now, when Smith, Nelson, and Nketiah leave Arsenal, I want them to go wherever they're going. I want them to do really well, because they're Highland boys. I want them to go. I want them to get a good project, a good team, and they can do well there. And I think Fulham would be a good opportunity for Smith Rowe. I didn't want us to sell him, but if money comes in for like 40 million and we can use that money elsewhere, then you have to sell him. Unfortunately, you'd have to sell him. But what I tried to do is to include something like a buyback clause or a sell-on option, a sell-on clause. So if they buy him for, let's say, 35 million, and then in the next 3 years they sell him for 70, we have like a 30% sell-on clause there. We can get some money from that, because he's still young. There's still a chance he can go then be absolutely incredible and continue shining, and put injuries behind him. That could happen. Or have a buyback option where Smith is an Arsenal fan, is an Arsenal boy, is reluctant in terms of leaving Arsenal. So maybe in the next couple of years, he'd be interested in joining Arsenal. If it goes so well at Fulham, it doesn't work out, maybe he'd be interested to join Arsenal. Maybe if he goes and puts his injuries behind him, we can be like, hey, listen, we can buy him back now. You have the first option of buying back. That could happen as well. Now, that has also been reported by Sky Sports. Said Arsenal reject bids from Fulham and Crystal Palace for Emile Smith Rowe. Discussions ongoing at both clubs over whether to go back in with an improved offer. Smith Rowe wants to assess all options. So let's see if these teams are going to come in with offers of 35, 40 million. That would be very interesting. I actually was kind of scared we wouldn't get that kind of money for him. If he sells Smith Rowe for 40 million, that would be a record for us. We've never sold anyone for 40 million. That would be our highest sell of all time. That would be incredible for a player that we haven't used a lot in the last few years. But let's see how this one develops. Looking likely that Smith Rowe will not be traveling to USA with the team. Let's see how that one goes. He is back in training. So him with Jesus, I think. But let's see if he's going to move on, go to the preseason tour in the USA. But if this deal develops, then he'll not be part of that tour. So it's going to be a big miss. It's going to be a big sale for sure. But hopefully we can use that money elsewhere. Let's see how that one develops. A couple of other players who were expected to leave, but no offers as of yet. Kieran Tierney and Aaron Ramsey will be keen to secure moves which allow them to play regular first-team football. Again, Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah are likely to go on Arsenal's tour of USA, but could well be sold before the end of the transfer window. Now, for Kieran Tierney, because he picked up an injury at the Euros, we're not sure how long the injury will keep him out for, and which teams would really want him. The thing with Tierney and a couple of other players in our team, no one is really coming in the money and putting offers on the table. We got offers for Tavares, we got offers for Lokonga from Fiorentina and Sevilla. Tavares, a couple of teams, and we've now gotten offers for Smith Rowe. There's a few teams interested in Nelson and Nketiah, but we haven't got concrete offers yet. And for Ramsdale and Tierney, nothing yet. So for Tierney, I'm a bit wide. I was very surprised we managed to get that kind of money for Tavares. Tierney was another one I felt like, are we really going to get any kind of money for Tierney? Are we going to have to sell him for like 5 million? So with the injury, if you can be able to get a good amount of money for Tierney, that would be really, really good. But what about Ramsdale? Because you're looking for at least the first time you're being told 50 million, but now you're being told Arsenal would be happy to get whatever we paid for him. That is around 30 million. So let's not make any losses on the deal. But which teams would come in for him? The teams coming into the Premier League, they need strikers and stuff like that to keep them up. And who will come and pay us 30 at 5 million for Ramsdale unless they're really desperate for a goalkeeper? Ramsdale is still a very good goalkeeper. Ramsdale is a very good shot stopper. The reason he's not playing at Arsenal is not because he was absolutely terrible and you had to drop him. No, it's because our style of play, whatever he's trying to do in terms of style of play, passing from the back, he did not really fit into that. And Raya became available, and it suits him in terms of that. It was just a bad place at the right place at the wrong time, I guess, for Aaron Ramsdale. We have to move on from him. I would like to keep him at Arsenal as well as a backup goalkeeper, but would he really want to be a backup? I don't think so. So in that case, he has to move on, and we have to try and get money from him. So if you can gather that 30 million for Ramsdale, get 40 million for Smith Rowe, get the 30 million you're asking for Nketiah and around 20 million for Nelson, that's over 100 million in sales. I don't think we've ever really done that in one particular transfer window. We usually struggle to sell players. So at least that would be a good change in terms of Arsenal's regard in terms of selling players. So that would be a very welcoming change, knowing that we can now sell players, we're getting money for our players. But let's see how the rest of the transfer window develops. Sadford, there was news on Sedford. He's very happy about joining us. So Arsenal has been his dream team. Is now officially signed for Arsenal. The goalkeeper, we could still end up signing Dan Bentley, but I think this week it's already Tuesday. Let's hope that we get more transfers this week, because I think by Monday they'll be off to the USA. So will we be off with new signings or no new signings? Considering Havertz, Trossard, Rice, Saka, Raya, Ramsdale, they're all not coming back up until August and later on this month. Havertz and Trossard could be there for the USA tour, but the West, no. That's another thing with Ramsdale. When will he be back for the preseason, and when are we going to sell him? So a lot going on. Let's hope we hear some done deals very soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.